Before we begin, if you like what you hear on the Tan and J-Man Show, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and go ahead and click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We encourage you to interact with us and keep up to date with the Tan and J-Man Show on social media by liking our Facebook page and following us on Twitter and Instagram at Tan and J-Man Show. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show with your hosts Tanner Lee and Josh the J-Man Munt. It's Monday night. You know what that means. Another brand new episode of the Tan and J-Man Show coming at you. Episode 216 to be exact. The first episode of 2021. Happy New Year to everybody. And the first episode of Season 5 of the Tan and J-Man Show.
5 seasons in.
Our fifth, going on our fifth full calendar year.
It's about this time in normal shows where they start making about $1 million an episode.
We're quite a few dollars behind
a little
that.
bit.
It's working our way up, having fun in the process. That's all that matters. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in live on the ISC Sports Network right now. We really appreciate it. And the Tan and J-Man Show is brought to you by, once again in 2021, by The Dam Landing. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-breaded tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or a handcrafted cocktail, The Dam Landing is the place to be. The Dam Landing is a bar and grill located on beautiful Lake Manitou that focuses on freshness and quality. And, of course, they got the Dam Smoke that's available on the weekends and features great barbecue and fantastic steaks. In addition to those, you can wash them down with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews and domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Whether it be by boats or by wheels, the Dam Landing is the place to be, located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester. And we also have another brand new sponsor to the podcast starting in 2021, starting tonight. That's Circle 15 Golf. Circle 15 Golf is brand focused on bringing tour quality products and experience to the everyday golfer. Built on 25 years of tour experience, featuring the Genesis glove, the most durable and comfortable glove available, and the patent glove hub, the first and only glove humidor on the market. You can find more information about them at circle15golf.com and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I got a couple of their products right here, J-Man.
See them.
I got the glove hub and the Genesis.
Ooh, that's pretty.
This is the glove hub right there. Circle 15 Golf. This is the only one on the market. It's makes your glove not get dry and all crumbly and crispy, and it should make your glove, the life of your golf glove, that's a kind of a tongue twister, last about 2 or 3 times longer. And then I got the Genesis glove right here, which is made using some of the best leather in the world. Very comfortable.
Does it fit
Easy
you?
fit. Oh, yeah. Easy fit.
You are not getting acquitted.
And this is the first non-tailor-made or Titleist glove probably in over a decade that I'm going to wear this upcoming golf season. So really looking forward to it. If you're a golfer or you have a golfer in your family, it makes a perfect gift. I know Christmas is come and gone, but everybody's got birthdays coming up, so perfect gift. So go on circle15golf.com and learn more about them and their other products today.
Yes, sir. Got some birdie bogey for me?
I do. Brandon Cooks of the Houston Texans became the second wide receiver in NFL history to record 1,000 yards in a season for 4 different teams. Who was the other wide receiver to do that?
I didn't realize he'd do that. 4 different teams, huh?
1,000 yards for 4 different
teams. That's a really good question. Birdie Bogey brought to you by Noble Gnome LLC. Fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine of Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, and check out their website, noblegnomellc.com. Get your veggies.
You got it.
That one hurt.
Hurt a little bit?
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah, season's over.
Season is over. The regular season
like
came
it just
and
started.
Went. They got through every week.
Yeah, they had a few postponements where they had to push it to Monday, Tuesday. They even rearranged the schedule a little bit in the middle of October, but man, they got through it, and playoffs are here.
I mean, hats off to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Through it. I mean, there was bumps in the road, of course. There was postponements of games, schedule moving around a little bit, but no game ever got canceled.
No, That's really shocking, and they really didn't do themselves any favors by not having a week at the end of the year, just in case. But the NFL got very fortunate. They didn't have to use an extra week or, have any canceled games whatsoever.
Well, and they built in a week, but it was really late when they did that.
Did they build
They
one?
had a week ready to go.
Oh.
But it would have pushed everything back by another week, of course. But they should have done that at the beginning.
Right.
But like you said, they got away with it. A little risky, but worked out. Their leadership was better than Kevin Warren's of the Big Ten.
You keep on ripping on Kevin Warren.
He's the worst.
He's really not.
He's the worst.
Show some empathy to the guy.
He's the worst.
First year on the job, he has to deal with a once-in-a-lifetime global pandemic. Show a little sympathy, empathy towards him.
Not going to happen.
Didn't go well for him, but
I'm not the only one not showing any. I can't talk tonight. I'm not giving him any apologies from my side.
You should.
No.
You're just a bad human being. Just kidding.
Thanks.
You've
told me worse. So.
You're welcome. The games yesterday, there were just a handful of interesting ones on the AFC side as well as the NFC side, of course. AFC side, 4 teams were fighting for the final 3 spots. Dolphins needed to win or have a Ravens, Browns, or Colts loss. None of that happened, which I think that was the most likely scenario to play out coming into this week, and it did play out that way. So Dolphins missed out at 10-6. I can live with them. They were one of the youngest teams in the NFL, weren't really expected to compete this year, and then they went out and won 10 games with a rookie quarterback. Defense played well. And I think it was a good building block year. Now they need to build on that heading into next year. Need to get Tua Tagovailoa some weapons. He just had nobody to throw the ball to. Majority of the guys he was throwing the ball to at the end of the year probably wouldn't be on any other NFL roster.
Yep.
They were just had so many injuries. Didn't have great talent to begin with on the offensive side, and he needs some offensive line help as well as an offensive coordinator that runs a 21st century offense, because Chan Gailey, who's 70 years old, does not, and he should have never been hired to begin with. But anyway, not really upset with how it was disappointing yesterday, but not really overly upset.
Well, it has to be frustrating to win 10 games and not
make
the playoffs.
They're the 14th team since 1990 to do that.
I was surprised there was that many.
I was too.
To be honest.
Dolphins have done it 3 times here this century, actually. And especially when you see teams on the NFC side, the Bears are in at 8-8. Washington football team in at 7-9. The thing that I found hilarious and preposterous were
good word.
The New York Giants players ripping and whining about Doug Peterson acting like he was trying to lose that game last night for him. You guys went 6-10. Don't be whining that you didn't get in the playoffs because of Doug Peterson. You lost 10 games. Didn't deserve to be in the playoffs to begin with.
I would have been upset if that was my team.
I wouldn't have been upset at all. I mean, of course, I'd want them to be in, but at 6-10, you don't deserve to get in.
It's part of the division. We've seen it before.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nope.
Every sport.
You don't deserve to whine about it though, because they lost 10 games.
Right. They could have just won. Oh, but they
exactly.
Did win yesterday, but
exactly.
They could have just won another game. But
they
at the same time, I don't want to hear Peterson. Oh, I was trying to win the game. No, you weren't.
It doesn't matter.
No, you weren't. You weren't trying
that
to win the
division's
game.
God awful, and
he's
Giants players should not be whining about it, because again, they went 6-10.
They did.
If they wanted to be in the playoffs, they would have won a few more games to really deserve it.
They obviously wanted to be in the playoffs. They just weren't.
No
good
kidding,
enough,
but they weren't good enough. It's not Doug Peterson's fault why they're not in the playoffs. They're not in the playoffs because they went 6-10.
But it doesn't help the cause that he put.
Doesn't matter. They went 6-10.
Quarterback who's
6-10. 6-10 is the only thing that matters. Be better if you want to be in the playoffs is what I want to know. But
you just got to win your division.
Exactly. Win more than 6 games. Arizona Cardinals, big loser. All they had to do was win yesterday, and they would have been in. Kyler Murray gets hurt. All they had to do was beat John Wolford, and they would have been in for the Los Angeles Rams.
He might be going against Seattle this week.
They don't think Goff's going to be back?
Not sure.
That'd be interesting.
Broken thumb.
I don't really see them beating them regardless.
Wouldn't think, but Seattle hadn't been overly impressive lately.
No, but really cool thing happened yesterday at the end of the game. Russell Wilson found out that wide receiver David Moore was just a reception away from I think it was a $100,000 bonus, an incentive bonus. And instead of taking a kneel down at the end, they did one of those shovel passes to him to get him his $100,000.
So Tom Brady did three of those
bonus
to Antonio Brown yesterday to get him his bonus.
Not like hearing things like that, like Emmanuel Sanders needed 8 catches, and they got every single one of them. They were playing for the number 1 seed, but they knew Packers would go in Chicago and beat them. So they got Emmanuel Sanders involved, and he got $500,000. So that was a big day for those guys. But yeah, the playoffs are set. Have some real interesting matchups. I'm loving the 4 games each day, Saturday and Sunday this upcoming week, because we're used to just 2. So that'll be fun.
4 games each day?
Is there three? Is it just 3 games?
Yeah.
Screwed that up.
Yeah. The Saints-Bears game is the middle game between the 3 on Sunday. It's not only available on CBS, it's available on Amazon Prime and Nickelodeon.
I remember them doing that last year.
Did they?
I think it's obviously a kids-centric broadcast. So
that should have been, when you were confident about winning the belt 4 weeks in a row, that should have been the punishment, that you had to watch a couple minutes of the playoff game on Nickelodeon and you had to videotape it for verification.
I'm probably going to watch the Nickelodeon broadcast just to see what it's all about. I don't even know what channel Nickelodeon is anymore. Couldn't tell you.
I know we get it, but I don't know what channel it is either.
Yeah.
But I didn't know they've done that before. It's interesting, to say the least.
Tanner won the belt the final week of the year. We need to go back and tally who won the season belt. I think I won the season belt.
You won by about 2 weeks probably.
It was pretty close.
Even last night was close. Came down to the last game.
Yeah, if the Eagles would have won, I would have won by, I think, 4, but the football team won. And Tanner, for the final time this year, gets the belt.
Because, you had a run of 4 weeks, then I had a run of 3 weeks, then you had another run of 3 weeks. You about had 2 runs of 4 weeks, because for a while there was just back and forth.
Yeah.
Kind of.
We both did really well this week, too.
Yeah, we did.
Over 100 points each of us. I think it was 112 to 108.
My big loss was the Chiefs at 12 points. I had
15 on them.
I should have known. We both should have known that they weren't going to play their guys.
I think I even said Chad Henne's good enough to beat the Chargers, and he clearly was not.
And then the Cowboys loss. I think I had
the Cowboys winning as well.
Yeah. We both had the Broncos winning.
Yeah, I
both had the Eagles winning.
Yeah.
You had the Dolphins. I had the Bills.
I couldn't not pick the Dolphins there.
Yeah. Yeah, you were pretty confident last Monday with them.
Dolphins were rolling. I figured it'd carry over, and it didn't. Their win against the Raiders.
Are hot, man.
It is what it is.
Bills are hot. They got the best chance to unseat.
Bills are the hottest team in the NFL.
The Chiefs in the AFC.
Bills have, I think, they have 4 straight wins, I think. Maybe 6 straight. I'm going to look it up real quick. And each win has been more than 10 points.
Yeah.
Whatever streak they have.
Josh Allen, man, he looking pretty bad the first 2 years. He turned
any other year, he'd probably be the MVP guy, but then you have Aaron Rodgers here.
He's something else.
Yeah, the Bills have won 6 games in a row by 10 points or more, which is one of the longest streaks ever. I mean, you look at their 3 losses. They lost that weird Tuesday night game to the Titans, got blown out. Lost to the Chiefs, nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
And then they lose on the Hail Mary from Kyler Murray. Yep. I mean, they could be sitting here at 14-2.
That's a good
with
point.
The number 1 seed.
Good point.
Of course, they did lose to Kansas City, but yeah, they're a good team. Do you want to go through and pick, or do you want to go back through
Let's revisit our preseason
predictions
real quick? Then we can predict playoffs, talk a little Black Monday, and keep it rolling.
AFC North.
I had the Ravens winning it with a record of 14-2.
I had the Ravens at 13-3. They made the playoffs.
Yeah, they did. So
they're playing really well right now as well. The schedule lightened up for them. They're going to be a dangerous out. I had Pittsburgh finishing second at 9-7.
Same.
Making the playoffs.
They were my 7th seed.
Browns at 7-9. We were off. I was off there.
I had them at 6-10.
We were both off. And Bengals at 4-12, which is about what they ended up.
I had them 4-12 as well.
This is one where I really screwed up in the AFC South. I had the Houston Texans at 11-5.
I had them at 13-3.
Yikes.
Yep.
Thank you, Bill O'Brien.
He was canned 5 weeks in.
Yesterday was not a wash for the Dolphins. They ended up with the 3rd pick in the draft via Bill O'Brien. I had the Colts at 10-6.
They'll
get the 5 seed.
You would think, right?
Who knows?
Unless somebody really wants to trade up and they think they can get a quarterback at 3 and could give them
Who knows?
more
Maybe the
picks.
Dolphins take a quarterback. Can't imagine they do,
Yeah.
but I had the Colts at 10-6, making the playoffs.
I had the Titans 11-5.
I had the Titans at 9-7, making the playoffs.
I had the Titans. Did they end up 11-5? I think they. Or was it 12-4? I think it was 11-5.
I think it was 11. Nope, 12-4.
Oh.
Pretty sure they were 12-4.
I had the Colts at 6-10. I thought Rivers would be really bad for them,
Titans were 11-5. My apologies.
so I was off with the Colts.
Yeah, Rivers was
I'll
good.
apologize for that one.
I don't apologize. I hate him. AFC East.
Where do you have Jacksonville?
Dead last.
I did too, but what was the record?
Of course, I can't get it now.
I had them at 4-12. I gave them too much credit, but I had them 0-6 in the division.
Well, they ended up 1-15.
But they won a division game. I didn't have them winning any division games.
I had them 1-15. No division wins though.
Yeah, you right on it.
Right on. AFC East.
I had the Bills winning the division 8-8.
I had the Bills winning the division as well as it at 8-8. Dolphins finishing second at 7-9. We were both off.
I had the
with
Patriots
them.
7-9 and then Dolphins 6-10.
Jets at 6-10. I was obviously way off. You had them at 3-13.
Mm-hmm.
I had Patriots at 5-11. AFC West. I think we both had KC winning.
Yep, I had them at 14-2.
13-3 for me. I had Denver at 7-9.
10-6. I do it every year.
I know you
know
do.
better.
And I tried to tell you every year, and you don't listen to me.
John Elway, done.
Dunzo should have happened a while ago.
Stepped away from. It shouldn't have happened a while ago.
Last year.
I thought it would be coming next year. I thought he was finish out his contract next year, then walk away. So it's coming a year earlier than expected. He's 60 years old now. Kind of just wants to do something else, but he's going to be around the organization. So it's kind of doing what Larry Bird did for the Pacers towards the end of his career. Bird wasn't the GM anymore, but was still the president of basketball operations. That's still going to be John Stiles, president of football operations, but the new GM is going to handle free agency, trades, building the 53. So now we'll have to see who the Broncos general manager is for the first time in a decade. So I had the Raiders 6-10.
Raiders 5-11.
I had the Chargers 5-11.
Chargers 5-11. They fire Anthony Lynn today.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was coming. I thought maybe he deserved one more year, but
they played pretty well towards the end of the year.
They got a lot of talent.
NFC North. I had the Minnesota Vikings at 10-6, winning that division.
I had the Packers winning at 10-6, but I had the Vikings at 10-6 as well. But the Vikings not making the playoffs.
I had the Packers at 9-7. They're the best team in the NFC, maybe the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, I have a tough time believing somebody's going to go into Lambeau in the frigid cold and beat them.
Especially
the way they're playing.
With how Aaron Rodgers is playing. Lions at 6-10. That was pretty close.
I had the Bears at 7-9.
I had the Bears at 4-12.
I had the Lions at 1-15.
Bears are more of a 4-12 team than they are an 8-8 team. But
and they're in the playoffs.
They're in the playoffs.
Probably save Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace's job. Probably. We'll see.
Probably. It really shouldn't matter, but I think it did.
Yeah, I had the Lions at 1-15, so they weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. They still weren't good.
I have the New Orleans Saints winning the South, which they did.
I had the Buccaneers at 13-3.
I had the Saints at 12-4. I had the Bucs at 12-4, getting the 5 seed, and that's what they did. And I think they ended up 11-5, though.
I had the Saints at 10-6, missing the playoffs, but they obviously made it.
Then I had Falcons 8-8, Carolina 7-9. I
had the Falcons at 9-7 and Carolina at 3-13. I thought they were going to be really bad this year, and they weren't great, but they were better. Matt Rule did a better job than I expected them to.
They play hard for him.
Yep.
Philadelphia Eagles, I had winning the East at 10-6. No reason why they shouldn't have, but Carson Wentz says no.
I had the Philadelphia Eagles at 12-4, winning the division.
I had Dallas Cowboys at 6-10, which is pretty spot on.
I had them at 11-5. I had both the Cowboys and Eagles in the playoffs.
I had the Giants and football team both at 4-12.
I had the football team at 3-13 and the Giants at 2-14. I had a lot of teams doing really bad.
They should have banned that division. The football team's going to get murdered by... Who do they even play?
Buccaneers.
Bucks. Yeah, they have to go to Washington, too,
Alex
is the problem.
Smith, great story. Definitely the comeback player of the year, but doesn't throw the ball downfield enough for them to even have a chance.
No, they're going to get beat by 28. I had the Seattle Seahawks winning the West, which they did, at 13-3.
I had San Francisco at 15-1.
They dealt with a lot of injuries.
Yeah, they weren't going to be 15-1, though. The stupid computer playoff predictor.
I had the San Francisco 49ers at 11-5.
I had the Rams and Seahawks at 11-5. I had all three in the playoffs.
I had the Rams at 11-5 as well.
I had the Cardinals at 2-14.
I had the Cardinals at 9-7. They ended up 8-8.
2-14. That was really bad.
And then for Super Bowl, I had Seahawks playing the Ravens with the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl.
Still a possibility.
Still a possibility. It wasn't too far off, I guess.
I have the Ravens over the Bucks.
Yes, sir.
I had the Buccaneers over the Niners and the Ravens over the Chiefs in the conference championship games. So we'll see. I mean, Ravens and Bucks still in play.
Yeah?
They're both playing actually pretty good football right now. But I don't think they're going to represent their conferences.
First game on Saturday is the Indianapolis Colts at the Buffalo Bills.
I don't give the Colts much of a shot here.
I don't either. Crazier things have happened.
We've talked the Bills up quite a bit during this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've seen Frank Reich be a part of one of the best playoff comebacks ever when he was part of the Bills against the Oilers in '93, but now he's on the opposite sides of the Bills coaching with the Colts. And, the Bills fans can finally go to a game this weekend.
They're having over 6,000.
But they're going to be a pumped up 6,000. I mean, it's
tickets as low as 13,000. That's the cheapest ticket, $13,000.
What are they doing up there in Orchard Park?
Dollars.
Yeah, I hear you. Not yen, dollars, not pesos, dollars.
Jeez,
wow, that's a lot of coin.
You look at these other playoff tickets. The Tennessee-Baltimore game tickets as low as $229. That's not bad for a playoff game. $775 for New Orleans, $540 for Pittsburgh. $13,000 is the cheapest ticket right now. Give me Buffalo by 3 touchdowns. I just think Josh Allen's playing great football.
How expensive would a Cleveland Brown home playoff ticket be if Buffalo was $13,000?
I would say less than that.
Yeah, probably.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's absurd.
It's absurd.
But yeah, you like the Bills, I like the Bills.
Los Angeles Rams at the Seattle Seahawks.
We were just mentioning it a few minutes ago. Don't think it'll matter who plays quarterback for the Rams. I think the Seahawks win either way.
I agree. Give me the Seahawks. The primetime game, you knew the NFL is going to put the NFC East team on primetime. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Washington football team.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay wins. I don't know the status of Mike Evans. Went down with a knee injury yesterday.
Arians said today if he's 80%, he will go. So I guess he'd only played on really one leg the entire season, according to
He gets hurt a
Bruce.
lot.
Yeah.
They got enough weapons without him.
Yeah, give me Tampa Bay pretty big. Sunday afternoon, interesting matchup here. Baltimore at Tennessee. Tennessee went into Baltimore and beat them in overtime earlier in the year.
And Tennessee beat Baltimore in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, forgot about that.
I think Baltimore gets revenge.
I agree, too. Baltimore's playing well.
That'd be a good game, though. Probably the game of the weekend.
Yeah, that's definitely
Definitely
the matchup of the weekend, in my opinion. Tennessee's defense has not been that great, but they can ground and pound with Derrick Henry.
He's amazing.
Ryan Tannehill's so freaking clutch, too. I don't know where he got that. It certainly wasn't in Miami.
After he left Miami, he just found something.
Get him away from Adam Gase. Look what happened. See what the Jets can do with Sam Darnold away from Adam Gase.
Even though, we'll talk college football in a little bit. Justin Fields is making a case to be number 2 pick.
The Chicago Bears at New Orleans.
It looks like it's going to be Drew Brees' last rodeo, as it should be. I don't think he'll be the only older quarterback that this is his last rodeo. I think Rivers is done too.
I agree.
Maybe Big Ben. I think Tom comes back for one more year. With that said, I think inspires the Saints, and the Saints are a better team than the Bears. I think the Saints win, but it's going to be a sloppy game.
Saints by a wide margin, in my opinion.
I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Browns' first playoff game since, was it 2001?
2002.
2002.
I think Kelly Holcomb was their quarterback back then.
Yikes.
The Browns get the upset.
I'm going to differ with you for the first time. Give me Pittsburgh, just to be different. Think Browns can absolutely do it, but with a healthy Pittsburgh defense, Big Ben playing this week, I think Pittsburgh gets her done.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one to watch.
Mm-hmm. Transitioning to on this day, you want to learn? Or you got one more?
One more NFL thing. Black Monday today.
Yes.
A lot of jobs open. Like we said, 7 GMs open. Your best guess of who might fill some of the head coaching vacancies. Just throw some guesses out there.
Thanks.
Or some names. I mean, you don't have to. I guess some names to watch for, maybe.
New York Jets is open.
Yep.
Jacksonville Jaguars open.
Yep.
Houston Texans open.
Yep.
Atlanta Falcons open.
Yep.
Who am I missing?
See Detroit.
Detroit Lions open.
Chargers
are open. Just mentioned that one. I think.
Will that be it? Will anybody else open? Will Philadelphia become open this week?
Could come open. Don't think it will.
I don't think it will either, but if they keep Peterson, I think that definitely ends the Wentz era.
If the Bears get blown out, I could see Matt Nagy being canned. Could see with a new GM, Vic Fangio maybe. I know you say
I think he's pretty safe.
You don't know that until the new GM comes out.
I just think he's pretty safe because
could see that one opening though. Could see Mike McCarthy getting canned after 1 year.
That would surprise me.
There's quite a few. I think the number one candidate should be Brian Daboll, Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator. What he's been able to do for Josh Allen's career, that offense is ridiculous. Stephon Diggs might be the best receiver in football right now. He should be the top candidate for a lot of coaching positions, head coaching positions. Jets have already asked permission to interview him. He can't interview until after this week.
Jets are also interviewing the Rams defensive coordinator.
Yes. Urban Meyer is a candidate. He wants $12 million a year. Not sure an NFL franchise wants to give it to him.
Jacksonville might do it.
The Cons have the money.
They got the money.
Patty Fitzgerald has been mentioned, and he's supposedly
that would be the one if the Bears opened up. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's from I think he's from Orland Park, maybe Oak.
Because his kids are still in high school. He's been on record in past saying he didn't want to do anything until his kids graduated. I don't know.
It's interesting. This is the first time his name's been mentioned as a possibility because it's always been no shot. But now it's sounding like he's open to it. That would really shake up the Big Ten West.
I think he's doing it to set himself up for the future. I think he's getting interview experience.
Yeah.
And then a few years when his kids are graduating from high school, boom. But
Makes
if
sense.
there's a year to get away from Northwestern, it might be now. New defense coordinator coming in because his defense coordinator of many, many years retired. New AD.
New athletic director, yes.
He might, and that was an old Northwestern football team. It might be a rebuilding job the next year or two, and maybe he doesn't want to do that. Jim Harbaugh, over the weekend, it was rumored that they were getting close to a 6-year extension with Michigan. The rumor has it today why they haven't come to terms is Harbaugh really wants to get back in the NFL. He's putting feelers out there to see if anybody's interested.
Watch for Detroit for that one.
Yeah,
It just seems like a line.
I bet he goes back to Michigan and gets that extension, though. I don't think any NFL
know why
team
they'd want him. I don't know why any NFL team would want him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of former head coaches in the NFL, Bill O'Brien and Adam Gase are both two candidates for the Alabama offensive coordinator job.
Yep.
That'd be interesting. Steve Sarkisian left to become Texas's
Texas
head coach.
If you would have told me back in 2017 when they hired Mark Herman.
Tom Herman.
I always want to call him Mark Herman's a pretty quarterback. Tom Herman. I thought he was a for sure thing. Good coach at Houston.
Texas is not back.
And I thought Sarkisian was done. After Washington stints at Washington USC, I thought he was done. And look, they've flip-flopped.
The way Sarkisian has taken Alabama's offense to a different level is pretty insane. Of course, they have the talent, but they're averaging 12 points more per game since he's been there than they did the previous 4 or 5 years.
See Waddle's practicing tomorrow?
Is he?
Yep.
Could go. Interesting.
Yep. On his ankle.
Devontae Smith, though, is unreal. Future Dolphin, Devontae Smith.
You say that about every single.
They need a wide receiver, Tanner.
They do need a wide receiver.
They're picking third.
Yeah. Now they got third. Yeah, he might fit there. That would be good.
Especially pairing with Tua again.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah. All right. You're making me. You're not just full of garbage here. But before we get into on this day, college football playoff was over the weekend, and we've been kind of hitting on it here and there. Alabama thumped Notre Dame pretty well, but Notre Dame covered the spread.
Backdoor cover.
Of course. Played them tougher than they did in 2012. But, man, Notre Dame, the next time they have a good season, you got to think it'll be interesting what the playoff committee's thinking.
I tweeted this on Saturday that you got to stop, regardless of what their resume looks like, you have to stop putting them in this number 4 slot in the college football playoff. Now, I will say no other team, including like a Texas A&M, would really stand a chance against Alabama anyway.
I agree with you there.
But Notre Dame, we know, has no chance against them. Try somebody else. Why not try Cincinnati? I know they would have got murdered. Give them a chance.
Yep.
Florida, I know they lost 2 games. If they wouldn't have lost 2 games, it might have been different because they gave Alabama everything they wanted in the SEC championship game. Notre Dame has this track record of getting blown out in the college football playoff, BCS championship against Alabama. Any BCS or New Year's Six bowl, they just get blown out.
Yeah, they're
0-6. Continue.
2000 or
in their
or something like that?
Their point differential is minus 150 or so. You have to stop. Stop it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Notre Dame presumably going to lose a lot. Their whole offensive line, I think, maybe except one starter. Maybe they all were seniors.
Ian Book going to come back with the.
I bet he leaves. I think
he can come back.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys. I mean, they could have their team come back and be really, really solid again. But I think if you play at Notre Dame, you're going to have a good shot in the NFL. So I think a lot of those guys will pursue the NFL, and we'll see what they look like next year. They do have Williams coming back, the running back. He was only a freshman. Brian Kelly, assuming he's Notre Dame's coach come week 1 next year, no reason to believe he won't be. He'll be the longest tenured coach in Notre Dame history.
It's crazy.
12th, it'll be his 12th season next year.
That's crazy.
Holtz, I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I want to say Rockney, Sarkisian, some of the historic greats only had 11 seasons and they either quit, resigned, went somewhere else.
Parseed.
What did I say?
Sarkisian.
Okay, whatever. It's been one of those nights, man. I am running on fumes. But, and we just were talking about Sark, by the way, too. But it's just interesting that number 11 has some historic ties to Notre Dame with 11 years, coaching at school. So, but I think he will be there still next year. But, I mean, he's done a pretty heck of a good job. I mean, he's got him to 2 playoffs and a BCS championship. So.
You look at their coaches they've hired since 2000. It's been Tyrone Willingham. Garbage.
I forgot about George O'Leary for a day.
George O'Leary for like a week. Yeah, a day. Charlie Weiss was pathetic.
They just stopped paying his contract like a couple years ago.
Pathetic there.
It was good for the first 2 years when he had Quinn, Samardzija, all that talent. Got the 2 BCS bowls.
I'd venture to say Brian Kelly's as good, if not better, than Lou Holtz. Holtz won a title, didn't he?
That's the thing.
But
88, their last one.
Still, I mean, it's so much harder to win one now than it was back then, in my opinion.
And Kelly's probably a better overall head coach. He had more success. I mean, between Central Michigan, Cincinnati, and Notre Dame, he's had more overall success than
everywhere.
Holtz did fine at Minnesota, did really good at Notre Dame, but he didn't do that great at South Carolina.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting because I do know some Notre Dame fans that want him gone. It's just like, who do you think you're going to get? I know some of them want Urban Meyer.
See, I don't.
Notre Dame ties back.
I would 100% want Urban Meyer too. I'm honestly surprised Texas went so quick and hired Sarkisian instead of trying an Urban Meyer.
They poached him a few weeks ago, supposedly, and he said nope.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's why I thought Herman was going to be back.
Yeah,
and then
it's yeah.
Then the other game in the college football playoff was Ohio State against Clemson, and Dabo Swinney should have kept his mouth shut.
Dabo's turning into one of the more unlikable coaches we have in all of sports. He doesn't know when to shut up. He's not a very nice guy either, from what I've just seen him on the sidelines, even from what I've heard. So I found myself for the first time, maybe ever, rooting for Ohio State. And I'm glad they took it to old Dabo.
I was rooting for Ohio State as well. I like to see the Big Ten do well outside of Indiana, but and Minnesota and Nebraska. I'm going to stop there because now I'm naming every team.
Could name every single one.
But Justin Fields put on a clinic the other night. He was awesome. I like Trevor Lawrence. Like watching him play. But I'm not a big Dabo. I'm starting not to like Dabo. And
Can't stand him.
The one coach I used to like until this season was Dan Mullen. He's lost me at Florida.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
He talks too much. He makes excuses. I just don't care for him.
Nope.
So, but looking forward to Ohio State, Alabama next Monday. We'll talk about that preview next Monday, but it has potential to be a really good one.
Yeah, Ohio State finally gets Alabama.
Yeah.
It seems like they're always playing Clemson or
they
somebody
did beat
else.
Bama with Cordell Jones.
Forgot about that. With Cordell Jones. They beat Oregon to get in, I remember.
So we'll see. I think Ohio State's going to be able to score on Bama's defense, but can Ohio State slow down Bama's offense? I don't know.
Probably, obviously, they're 2 of the best teams in the country.
Sure.
There, but 2 of the most athletic teams we've ever seen, both on offense and defense.
And any other thoughts on the Big Ten's performance in the bowls? They only had 3 other teams play.
Can honestly say I didn't watch a second of any of the teams.
I didn't watch any of Wisconsin's game against Wake Forest.
Didn't watch any of the Indiana games.
I did watch I watched the whole Indiana game and a good majority of the
Did see Northwestern blew
Northwestern.
out Auburn.
Yeah, that was surprising. I thought
It was
Auburn's
just-
talent and speed would get them, but they had no head coach.
It was just a weird year for bowls. You didn't even
Sure.
know when the bowls were going, didn't know which bowls
Nope.
were even going to be played, so it was just kind of weird.
Uh,
Heisman vote's coming up, too. I don't remember
that's
when that
the
is.
7th, this Thursday, I want to say.
Is it?
Announced? Yeah.
This will be the J-Man's Booker prediction of the week. Devontae Smith will win the Heisman, wide receiver. Winning the Heisman. Hasn't happened since Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard, yeah. I like that pick, but I'm going with his teammate Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. I'm honestly surprised Najee Harris wasn't
I know.
even in the top 4.
Should
He
have
wasn't even invited. He was top 5. But J-Man's Booker prediction of the week brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Travis Watchering for life, home, auto, renters, business, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watchering@infb.com.
And one more point I want to make is I did have to chuckle a little bit with. I mean, Indiana had a great season. Don't get me wrong, best season they've had in years. But I had a laugh with the whole taking the Big Ten emblem off their helmet and the Outback bulb patch, and then you go out and lose to a shorthanded
against a bad Ole Miss team.
Ole Miss can put up points. Don't get me wrong.
4 and 5.
But it was more their. I thought IU would be able to score more against Ole Miss defense. And
I
couldn't do it.
do love the level of petty it took to do that, though. Respect.
Something. I got other words for it, but yeah, it's. It'll be interesting to. They should be solid again next year, though. Indiana should, so they return a lot, so it'll be interesting. I thought they were playing with fire, though, keeping their backup quarterback in who had a separated shoulder, and they threw 24 times in the second half, and he was constantly doing this with this throwing shoulder. I'm like, if he rips that thing, you already have Penix out probably for the start of next year with his ACL. If Tuttle gets hurt, you're going to have your third-string guy start for the first few weeks, and they got Cincinnati on the non-conference schedule next year, so they actually don't have all cupcakes.
On this day in 1920, the first black baseball league, the National Negro Baseball League, organizes. On this day in 1920.
I would have guessed it was older than that.
I would have too. 1957, the Brooklyn Dodgers buy a 40. I wonder if they're still in Brooklyn in 57. I don't know. All it says is Dodgers. Buy a 44-passenger twin-engine airplane for $775,000. Might be the first team to use a.
You want me to look up if they were in Brooklyn or not in 57?
I want to say they moved in 60, but yeah, sure.
I think it's in the 60s as well.
On this day in 1975, the New Orleans Jazz set a then NBA record with a 24-second shot clock by scoring only 20 points in the first half.
Before the 1958 season,
So it was
they
their
moved.
last year in Brooklyn, huh? Bunch of AFC, NFC championship games. 1986 NCAA basketball's David Robinson blocks a record 14 shots.
Wow.
He's pretty
The
good.
Admiral.
1986 as well on this day, Los Angeles Rams running back Eric Dickerson scores twice as he rushes for an NFL then postseason record 248 yards.
So one of the members of the 2000 club that Derrick Henry joined yesterday, 8 guys now on the club, 2 Titans. Only team in NFL history to have 2 guys do it.
1992, Boston's Robert Parrish becomes 5th player to, as of that date, to register 2,000 career blocks. Can you name the other 5?
2,000 career blocks.
Yep, from start to 1992.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Nope.
Wow.
Mark Eaton, Wayne Rollins, and George Johnson.
Yeah, I definitely got one. There's no way.
I've heard of Mark Eaton. That's the only other guy I've heard of. 1999.
Wilt didn't do it. Wow.
1999, college football's first BCS national championship was played. Can you tell me who won?
Florida State beat Virginia Tech.
No. Tennessee
Must have been 98.
beat Florida State.
I bet Florida State, Virginia Tech was 2000.
It was 2000.
Peter Warwick.
Yep.
MVP.
2000 on this day.
Darn
was the
it.
second BCS.
That's my problem. I get the years mixed up. So the year is of when the bowl was played, not the majority of the season.
Interesting.
Right?
I have no idea.
Okay. I'm trying to think in my head because I have a feeling a few more are coming.
A bunch on this day in 2000, because on this day in 2000, a day after accepting the head coaching position at the New York Jets, Bill Belichick resigns and moves to New England Patriots.
What could have been?
2000 as well, American businessman and investor Mark Cuban purchased a majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks NBA franchise for $285 million from H. Ross Perot Jr. Is it the... Didn't Ross Perot run for president? He did. That's what I thought. Or maybe, I don't know. 2001, Washington Wizards forward Michael Jordan became then the fourth player in NBA history to score 30,000 career points.
Sounds weird.
Against his old
Washington
team,
Wizards.
Chicago Bulls. Who won the BCS National Championship in 2004?
God. Let's see. 2004? That was USC.
Nope.
Wasn't USC over Oklahoma?
That was 2005.
See, I'm doing it again.
LSU beats number 1 Oklahoma. 2005 BCS. 2006 BCS National Championship.
Well, that was Texas over USC.
Greatest college football game maybe
Yeah.
ever. Texas over USC. Correctamundo.
Jeez, Tanner.
And 2019, Indian cricket batsman Chiteshwar Pujara scores 193 and Rishabh Pant 159 in 0 as the tourists declare at 6:22.7 on day 2 of the 4th test against Australia in Sydney. Pant first Indian wicketkeeper to hit a century in Australia. Did you understand a word of
Did you
that?
speak English?
I didn't understand a word of
It's
that.
like last week's
Man,
cricket.
I got to do something.
That's last week's cricket one I shared. I'm like, I don't know what any of this means.
Yeah, I really need to start watching cricket.
I should know this. This is embarrassing.
This is embarrassing.
You need to be the cricket expert for the Tina J Man show.
Cricket and rugby.
Rugby.
That's what
There
I'm
you go.
gonna get into.
That's your resolution for 2021.
I'm gonna start watching cricket.
I had a rugby football from a New Zealand team years ago when my grandparents went.
Was it the All Blacks?
Yep.
I've heard of the All
Yep. I was
Blacks.
trying to think what the team's nickname was.
Who's that sponsored by?
Oh, yes. Thank you. The On This Day sponsorship is provided by, in 2021, like it was 2020, Proforma Print House. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Proforma Print House has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company, and give them a call today at 574-210-3815.
Let's talk a little Cubs real quick. The Chicago Cubs
I'll let you talk, Cubs.
traded Yu Darvish and very valuable backup
more
catcher Victor Caratini, best pitcher in the National League, I should say, Yu Darvish, to the San Diego Padres.
Padres are building up, man.
It
Big
was
market team now.
complete salary dump by the Tom Ricketts, the billionaire Tom Ricketts, who is crying poor, even though ticket prices at Wrigley Field are higher than any other place in the world, or at least in professional baseball. It's just pathetic. They traded him for Zach Davies, who's a decent Major League starting pitcher, but then 4 minor leaguers that have played a combined like 80 games of professional baseball in the minor leagues. None of them are even close. This is just a complete salary dump, which is absolutely embarrassing for one and pathetic. They are one of the biggest markets in the United States of America. They should be competing every single year like the Los Angeles Dodgers do, like the New York Yankees do. No excuse not to. And Tom Ricketts and his pathetic excuse of losing their losses were of biblical proportions. That's just ridiculous. They just sold TD Ameritrade for $26 billion. And
So with a B.
they are crying poor, and they're not even trying to win anymore. It's just embarrassing.
The window's shut.
The window's shut, all because of that idiot. Sell the freaking team, for the love of God. I'm so sick of him. They need somebody. Major League Baseball, and mainly Jerry Reinsdorf was the ringleader in this, said no to Mark Cuban buying the Cubs. Mark Cuban would have never let this happen. He'd be buying. He'd be trying to win every single year.
Too much a competitor.
Where Tom Ricketts sits on his hands and we got no money. Hate him.
Yeah.
But good Cubs news today.
I was just going to, yeah.
Len Casper moved on to the White Sox radio booth about a month ago now, and they finally hired a guy, Bushambi, who is one of my favorite ESPN guys. I think this is a hit it out of the ballpark with this hire, and I'm excited to have him and JD, Jim DeShays, work together. It's going to be a fun broadcast booth, so I'm looking forward to that.
That's what I was bringing up to you. I was going to say, at least you got some good news of this.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty pumped about it. he's going to call about 130 Cubs games a year, it sounds like, and do a lot of still college basketball. He just called the Illinois-Duke basketball game last month. And he's one of my favorites. He's funny. Cubs fans will really enjoy him. So
he's not one of my favorites, Stephen Bardo.
Cannot stand Stephen Bardo.
Purdue's had him 5 of the last 6 games.
He's like their, I would say like their fourth guy.
They get him
he's
all
just
the time.
not good.
He's hard to listen to.
I don't like his voice. He says the same things over and over again. He speaks in cliches. Don't learn anything. Love Robbie Hummel.
I think Robbie's got potential to be
one of the best.
What college basketball to college basketball what Kirk Herbstreit is to college football.
Ooh. That's some high praise there. Yeah,
he sticks with it.
I think he'll be just as good as like Jay Billis. I think he'll be sitting in Jay Billis' seat.
Billis probably is the Herbstreit right now.
Yeah, I would say.
I think Herbstreit's a little more likable.
Well,
Billis,
Billis doesn't care about hurting the NCAA's
no,
feelings. He's going to go after him, which I love that. Which Herbstreit you don't really hear much. But Hummel keeps it real.
Yep.
I learned something from him. I think he does a phenomenal job. A lot of people hate Dan Dockich. Love him when he's on the call.
He's good on the call. His radio.
Hate him on Twitter. Don't listen to his radio show.
Yeah.
But I think he does a phenomenal job on the call.
I haven't heard him on a call this year because, like I said, I've mainly watched just Purdue.
He did the Illinois-Minnesota game a few weeks ago. And he's really good at that. But, yeah, Robbie Hummel, tops.
And I like him with
Love Jason Benetti, the White Sox guy.
With the B.
They're
Benetti,
funny together.
They're a good pair.
Benetti and Dockich are funny together, too.
It's so interesting, at least when it comes to the college games. Most of these, if not all of the broadcasts, I should say most because I know not all, they're calling it from their homes.
Yeah, and really I haven't noticed that much of a difference.
I know Dockage was at Rutgers the other day because he posted a photo, but a lot of them are, ESPN's went to their homes and set them up with top-notch equipment, and
I've seen
calling it from their homes.
If they are calling it in the stadium, they're up,
like
to the second level.
Do you think even when things hopefully this next year get back to close to normal, do you think that's a change we see put in place?
Good.
Because networks could save money.
Save a lot of money.
By keeping the guys at home calling games.
Haven't really noticed that much of a difference.
Yeah.
They've done a really good job, I think.
I'm sure they would much rather be there.
Probably rather be there, but at the same time, they wouldn't have to travel as much, could be with their families.
True.
I think as a commentator, you'd like to call the action there because you get the feel of the crowd and all of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Once crowds are back, it would be it would probably be tougher to be at home, maybe even with the audio.
Yes, I agree.
Of the crowd, it might drown them out.
Yeah.
So I'm backtracking. I'm going in reverse with my take now.
But yeah, college basketball. Not going to speak too much on it.
Big Ten's wild though. We say it every week, but it's
Michigan's
crazy.
rolling. They're the only undefeated team left in the Big Ten. They came out with the net rankings today for the first time, which is pretty much what the RPI was. Illinois is clocked in at number 4, the highest ranking in the Big Ten. The metrics love them more than what the eye test has told us so far. I think Illinois has the highest ceiling in the Big Ten, most talent, and it's just they need to start clicking. They need to start off fast.
It's kind of like faster. To me, they have the highest ceiling and highest potential, like you said, but as of right now, like between them, Iowa, Rutgers, maybe Wisconsin. I haven't watched Wisconsin too much. I would think Illinois is more vulnerable of getting upset in the NCAA tourney early than the other teams.
I agree.
I mean, maybe not Rutgers. I don't know, but Iowa.
I don't know. I think Michigan's played well, but really they haven't really played
I didn't even put Michigan up in that level. I forgot, even though they're undefeated.
They're second at number 6. Iowa's third at 7. Wisconsin 11. 12 of the 14 Big Ten teams are ranked in the top 51. Illinois has 4 top 51 wins already. I think this Illinois team will be better kind of like an Izzo or Beeline team, better in the middle of February than they are right now. But then you have Rutgers at 17, Ohio State 28, Maryland 32, Penn State 42, Minnesota 43, Purdue 47, Northwestern 50, and Indiana 51. The only 2 teams outside it are Nebraska at 186 and Michigan State at 119.
I hate to see that.
Hate to see it.
The 2 teams Purdue was supposed to play this week, but just got news before we went on air that Purdue-Nebraska is postponed tomorrow night due to Nebraska having some COVID issues, which is the second Big Ten basketball game to be postponed in the last 2 weeks now. Wisconsin-Penn State on yesterday was the other one.
Yeah.
Kind of getting a little worrisome. So. All of a sudden we're seeing it impact Big Ten, which up to yesterday.
Yeah. really hadn't until the
had any
Penn State. Do you want to pick some games real quick this week?
Sure.
And we can get into our 2021 bold predictions.
Yep.
Big Ten starting tonight. We have the Maryland Terps heading to Assembly Hall to play Indiana University.
Maryland got a big win at the Kohl Center last week, but I think Indiana gets it done at home.
Yeah, Maryland followed it up by losing at home to Michigan afterwards.
Yeah.
I agree. Indiana at home. They need to win this one or it could get ugly.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, Nebraska-Purdue postponed. Purdue was a 12.5-point favorite.
Okay.
Rutgers at Michigan State.
That's a good one.
Interesting one. Ron Harper should be back. He played against Iowa, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, man. Izzo's got to get one of these soon. Mm-hmm. I'll take Spartans in this one. I hate it, but I'm
taking Michigan State as well. They need to win it. Yeah. If they don't, it could get ugly for them as well. Wednesday night, we have Penn State at Ohio State.
I got Ohio State in that one.
I have Ohio State as well. They need to get back to 500 in the Big Ten. Penn State can score points. Don't play a whole lot of defense. Upstart Minnesota Golden Gophers, who've played really well, blew out Ohio State yesterday. Play the number 10 Michigan Wolverines.
I thought they were a one-man team coming in this year with Marcus Carr.
Liam Robbins, 7-footer. Yep. He's done really good work for him.
Hunter Dickinson's been great for Michigan. Give me the Wolverines at home.
Give me Michigan as well. I think they keep on rolling at 5-0. Thursday night, we have a couple good ones. Iowa at Maryland.
Iowa in a close one.
I'm taking Iowa as well. I just don't see Maryland being able to keep up with them. Indiana at Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's a bad matchup for Indiana in basketball.
Have been forever.
Just like they were in football until this year. Give me the Badgers.
Give me the Badgers as well. And then the nightcap, Illinois at Northwestern.
I think Illinois is too talented.
I agree.
I know you're going to be sweating at that one. Though.
I'm going to be.
You're not going to like that one.
Northwestern can shoot it well. Miller Kopp, he doesn't miss very often.
Illinois
he was
not
really
going to
bad.
have 3/4 of the gym full for them this year.
Yeah. Northwestern's size could pose a problem. You have like 3 guys out there that are 6'7" or taller, but I think Kofi Coburn has his way, and Illinois wins a very close one.
Maybe he'll hit his free throws?
We hope. My hand hopes. I'm about to break it. Purdue at somehow still ranked Michigan State.
Yeah, Purdue's got a chance to knock off a ranked team. It should be nice. They did knock off Ohio State a couple weeks ago when they were ranked. Get more preparation, I guess, for them now. I was telling you, all of a sudden, Purdue's got a game this Friday, and then don't play again until next Thursday, both on the road. Their next 4 games are on the road all of a sudden. I'm going to take Purdue in an upset.
Give me Michigan State by at least 15.
You also said Illinois by 19. So.
Well, if they would have hit some free throws, it would have been 19.
And if Doug Peterson would have left Jalen Hurts in there.
Illinois turned it over 14 times, missed 13 free throws, gave up a 19-0 run, and still won by 8.
Yeah, they're the better team.
Michigan
they win
Penn
by
State.
19 plus,
Michigan
like you guaranteed.
I
got the screenshot to prove it.
Did I guarantee that?
Yeah, I got the screenshot in Group Me to prove it. It was in an argument with our buddy Andrew Eiler. So,
it's a win.
Give me
all
Michigan.
That matters.
I know.
That's all that matters. Give me
Enjoy
Michigan.
it while you can this year.
Ohio State at Rutgers. I enjoyed it last year, too.
I know. And you didn't get to play in the tournament. So
not their fault.
I know. I didn't say it was. I'm just going back at you because you're coming at me hot.
Whose fault is that?
Give me Rutgers.
Give me Rutgers. Rutgers needs revenge. Minnesota at Iowa. Minnesota knocked off the Hawkeyes.
Give me Iowa.
Yeah, give me Iowa. Maryland at Illinois.
I'll take Illinois in that one.
Yeah, give me Illinois. Indiana at Nebraska.
I'll take IU on the road.
Give me Nebraska.
If they play.
That's a good point. Nebraska has a COVID issue here, so who knows if they'll be able to play. That's just 6 days.
Well, if they have players, they're out 17 days.
Really?
Big Ten rule, same as football. 17-day rule. They used to have it 21 days. Now it's down to 17.
Should be 10 like the normal world.
But it hasn't been that way in the Big Ten the whole year.
Real quick, 21 bold predictions for 2021.
Yeah. Friend of the show, loyal listener and viewer, Sean Shriver gave us an idea late last year to do 21 bold predictions for 2021. We're going to do 5 tonight, 5 the next few weeks, and then 6 at the week after that. So one of my bold predictions, we will see an athlete in their prime step away from their sport and retire this year. I don't know who.
That's a good one. Rob Gronkowski was kind of that way, and then he came
Somebody
back.
like Andrew Luck. I don't.
Andrew
I'm
Luck.
not, I'm
Forgot
not
about
saying
him.
the NFL. I'm not saying it might be an NBA player. I don't know. Somebody. That's a prediction. Somebody's going to step away.
That's a really good, bold prediction. A Big Ten team will win the national championship in basketball for the first time since 2000.
Jeez,
I don't know who it's going to be.
That's bold.
I don't know if Iowa plays enough defense to do it, but they can score a whole lot.
As right now, like Gonzaga, but a lot can change.
Gonzaga whooped on Iowa earlier in the year.
The NBA championship will be won by a team that has never won one.
Ooh. Who?
Could be the Clippers.
Clippers never won one?
Could be the Nets.
Nets are like 3-4.
I know.
Could change.
There's like 12 teams in the league that have never won one.
This makes me gag to say, but the Dodgers will repeat as World Series champions.
I almost put that one.
They're just too good. They're loaded. Tom Ricketts, idiot.
Mine's also baseball. This will be Aaron Boone's last season as the Yankees manager.
A non-quarterback / running back will win the Heisman this year. Pick Devontae Smith. Sticking with it.
I'll bring a college football one up here. Someone not named Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State will win the college football playoff in 2022, but for the 2021 season.
I like it. Chris Bryant will be traded by the deadline. That's not too bold. I was kind of scrambling from the final one.
Had J-Man in mind here. Rory McIlroy will win a major for the first time since 2014.
Book it. My last one. The Buffalo Bills will win the Super Bowl.
This year?
This year.
Hey, it's not Kansas City. Sign me up.
Bills are rolling.
I would like
They'll probably get beat this week. You're welcome, Colts fans.
I would like to see the Saints get it done, but I don't think they do.
I agree with you.
Before Drew heads off to the sunset on NBC for his announcing career. So that's going to be strange to see.
I saw guys are angling for Phillip Rivers to join the booth.
Yeah, he's got a head coaching gig lined up right now back in his home state. But, of course, he could do that later.
Is he from North Carolina?
Yeah. Yep. So, Birdie Bogey question.
I have no shot.
Brandon Cooks went over the 1,000-yard receiving mark yesterday. He is one of 2 players in NFL history to do that on 4 different teams. Who's the other guy?
I don't know any wide receiver that's played for 4 different teams. I know one guy that's played for like 3, but there's no way he did it with 4 of them. I have no shot. What era?
In our lifetime.
Probably in our lifetime, I would imagine. Good. Terrell Owens.
Good guess. But no, really good guess.
Randy Moss?
No, another good guess, though.
Crap.
Brandon Marshall.
Oh.
Denver Broncos.
Should have known.
Miami
Dolphins,
Bears,
Jets.
New York Jets.
Yep, that's a good question.
Yep.
Crap.
Yep.
Yeah, Terrell Owens played for quite a few teams.
Yep.
My first thought was Jerry Rice, and I knew that had no shot.
Yeah, don't worry. There was one week it was Jerry Rice, and I missed it. So we need to keep track of our birdie bogeys this year. Tonight was the first one for 2021.
I'm a +1.
So you got +1. Yeah, we should keep, all of our scores going to be horrendous at the end of the year.
I'm going to start keeping count right now. Mark it down.
I like it. So while you're doing that, I'll wrap us up for the first episode of 2021, the first episode of Season 5 of the Tan and J-Man Show. Thanks for watching on the ISC Sports Network. Thanks for listening on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. If it's Apple Podcasts by chance, please give us a rating and review. Really helps us out. Buy some Tan and J-Man Show merchandise. J-Man's wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing a T-shirt. Plenty of T-shirts, hoodies, mugs. We got a Book It T-shirt and mug on the website. You can go to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram account, click the link, and you can go right to our merchandise store. Plenty of stuff there for gifts for somebody, or if you just want to support our show, we really appreciate it. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Tan and J-Man Show if you haven't already. And we'll be back next Monday, same time, same channel, live on the ISC Sports Network for episode, what did I say this was?
I don't know, 216?
216 for episode 217 next week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay sane, my friends.